Imagine this, a gorgeous summer afternoon in one of Atlanta's most upscale neighborhoods. Michael Carter, a former police officer with 15 years of service, is finally living the dream he worked so hard for. Years of saving every penny, pulling long overtime shifts, and sacrificing sleep have paid off. He's now the proud owner of his dream home. A breathtaking two-story house with a crystal-clear swimming pool that glistens under the Georgia sun. But just as he's reclining in his lounge chair, eyes closed, enjoying the warm breeze, weo, police sirens tear through the peaceful silence. Two patrol cars speed to a stop right in front of his house. Officers, hands on their holsters, approach his fence. "Sir, we got a report of a suspicious individual trespassing in this pool area." Michael sits up, feeling that all too familiar knot tighten in his stomach. He already knows exactly who made the call. Through the corner of his eye, he spots her, Karen Thompson, his neighbor, peeking through her curtains with a smug grin. This isn't the first time she's done this. But what she doesn't realize, it's about to be her last. Let's rewind. 2 months earlier, Michael had just moved in, feeling an overwhelming sense of pride. After dedicating 15 years to protecting and serving, he had achieved something his parents could only dream of: owning a home in one of Atlanta's most prestigious neighborhoods. The previous owners had maintained the property beautifully, but it was the backyard pool that sealed the deal for Michael. He had just started arranging his patio furniture when he first noticed her, Karen Thompson, standing at her second-floor window, phone glued to her ear, staring at him. Michael, always polite, gave a small wave. But instead of responding, she vanished behind the curtain. Weird, but whatever. The next day, while Michael was out at the hardware store, his security camera pinged. Curious, he checked the feed, and his jaw dropped. There she was. Karen had strolled right through his unlocked back gate like she owned the place. Dressed in a designer swimsuit, luxury beach towel draped over her arm, she casually set her things on his pool chair and dipped her feet into his pool like it was hers. When Michael got home and confronted her, her reaction was unbelievable. "Oh," she gasped, pressing a hand to her chest, feigning surprise. "I thought you were the new pool maintenance guy. The previous owners always let me use their pool." Michael felt his blood boil, but years of police training kept him calm. "Ma'am, I'm not the maintenance guy. I'm the new owner. And I'd appreciate it if you asked for permission before entering my property." Karen's face twisted in disbelief. "You? The owner?" She let out a nervous laugh. That must be a mistake. I know the realtor handling this property, and she never mentioned." She waved her hand vaguely in his direction, leaving her real meaning hanging in the air. Michael didn't flinch. "There's no mistake, Mrs. Thompson. This is my home. And right now you're trespassing. Please leave." Karen gathered her things, muttering under her breath. "We'll see about that. Not a warning. A promise." Over the next few weeks, Karen's antics went from annoying to outrageous. One Saturday morning, Michael woke up to the sound of splashing and laughter. Confused, he looked out his window and nearly lost it. Karen had invited 4 of her friends over for a full-on pool party in his backyard. Michael stormed onto the patio. "Ladies, you need to leave. Now. This is private property." Karen rolled her eyes and waved him off. "Oh, don't be difficult. We're just having a little fun. Besides, you barely even use the pool." Her friends looked uncomfortable, clearly realizing they'd been lied to. Karen said she had permission, one woman whispered, hurriedly gathering her things. Michael took a deep breath, keeping his composure. "Mrs. Thompson, this is your final warning. If you trespass again, I'm calling the police." Karen's lips curled into a sneer. "Go ahead. I know everyone at the precinct. My husband plays golf with Captain Richards." That was it. That afternoon, Michael installed security cameras. Years in law enforcement had taught him one golden rule: document everything. And within days, his cameras caught everything. Karen testing his gate, peering through his windows, even attempting to use a copied key from the previous owners. The final straw? One afternoon, Michael came home from the grocery store to find 8 women in his backyard. drinking wine, lounging by his pool. This time, he didn't hesitate. He called the cops. When Officers Davis and Martinez arrived, former colleagues of Michael's, they immediately recognized the situation. "Oh, it's one of these calls," Officer Martinez sighed. Karen's expression immediately shifted.
Tears.
Fake panic. "Officers, thank goodness you're here. This man is harassing us. We've always had pool privileges with the previous owners, and now he's being completely unreasonable." Officer Martinez didn't even let her finish. "Ma'am, Mr. Carter was one of our best officers. If he says you're trespassing, you're trespassing. Please leave before we make this official." Karen turned red with humiliation. As she left, she hissed under her breath, "This isn't over. You don't belong here. And I'll make sure everyone knows it." That's when things got dark. Suddenly, concerned neighbors started posting about suspicious activity at Michael's address. His newspaper started disappearing. Anonymous HOA complaints flooded in. But Michael had spent 15 years in law enforcement. He knew how to gather evidence. His cameras caught Karen stealing his newspaper at 6 a.m., photographing his house at odd hours, sprinkling plant killer on his roses in the dead of night. Enough was enough. At the next HOA meeting, Karen stood up dramatically. "I'm concerned about property values," she said, shooting Michael a smug glance. "Some recent changes in the neighborhood have made potential buyers uncomfortable." Michael calmly stood,
Pulled out his phone.
and hit play. Crystal clear footage of Karen vandalizing his property. "Interesting you mentioned property values, Mrs. Thompson. Care to explain this?" The room went silent. Karen's face went pale. She stammered, "I was checking for suspicious activity. Someone's been damaging properties in the neighborhood." Michael raised an eyebrow.
Yes.
"And now we all know exactly who." That night, she struck back. His pool water? Ruined. Filled with dish soap, making it unusable for days. But instead of getting mad, Michael got even. And what happened next? Let's just say, karma was about to make a splash. "Doesn't come with uninvited guests," one agent joked to a couple touring the property. They laughed, but the husband leaned in and whispered, "Wait, is this the house from that viral video?" Karen's desperate attempts to lower the asking price did little to help. Buyers kept pulling out at the last minute, afraid of being associated with the greenhouse incident. Eventually, she and her husband were forced to sell well below market value and move to a different neighborhood where, hopefully, her reputation wouldn't follow. As for Michael, life had never been better. His home was finally his sanctuary again, and his neighbors, once distant and wary, had become true friends. One afternoon, as he sat by his pool, enjoying the peaceful hum of conversation and the smell of barbecue in the air, he heard a small voice behind him. "Mr. Carter?" It was little Mateo Rodriguez, standing shyly with a soccer ball under his arm. "Yeah, buddy?" Michael said with a smile. "Mom said to ask permission first, but can we use the pool?" Michael grinned, ruffling the boy's hair. "Of course, kid. You just made my day." And with that, the sound of splashing and laughter filled the air, a perfect summer afternoon, just as it should be.